Welcome to International Securities Exchange's podcast series. Facilitated by renowned educators, ISE podcasts are intended to teach beginning as well as seasoned investors the ins and outs of trading. To find an updated list of podcasts, please visit www.ise.com/podcasts. Please be sure to listen to our important message following this episode regarding the risks of investing in exchange-traded options.
Now, it didn't happen by the end of that month. We didn't get to either support targets from the prior month or that month, but we sure did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trading days later over here. And then for the new month, it recalibrated. It recalibrated what the outlook was. It gave you a new target resistance and a new target support. It did it again the prior month, and now guess where we are? Here's where we are currently, and this is as of yesterday morning when I put this chart together. And I wanted to give you guys something that was timely, current, right now. Instead of showing, hey, here's what my last trade was, let's show, here's what my next trade. My last trade with the British pound, I told you, didn't work out so well. However, not every trade's going to work out well. But there's, as long as we have more winners than losers, folks, I'm not afraid to share with you a style of market analysis and also a product line that's out there to allow us as traders or capitalists to take advantage of these moves. All right? That's what trading really is all about. You know, look for the opportunity and then devise a strategy. And I think it is important, as with any marketplace, to say, okay, do seasonalities work with this? Do pivots work? Does the methodology work? Does it have a good history? If it does, hey, that's great. But always keep in mind there's going to be some losers in the game. And I'm not afraid, by the way. I'm not afraid to tell people, here's what I do. I post it on our website. We have an advisory service that we put together. I do webinars. I put my, I put my money where my mouth is. So I put my own money in the markets. And, most people will know if you follow me, I do a lot better than not. And I think the reason I share and I appreciate the ISE inviting me to share my methodology is that, there are ways to help investors other than and show them that there are other forms of market analysis out there that you can utilize to help you make better informed trading decisions and to learn about new markets. In essence, in my experience, folks, there's a lot of people out there struggling. I will be honest with you. I think in the last 6 weeks, it's been a very choppy market in all facets. From energies. Think about how many people have you been hearing about crude oil is going to go up to 85, and crude oil is not at 85. There's been a lot of different markets. Gold. Everyone thought gold was going to be at $1,050 to $1,100. Gold's not at $1,100 right now, is it? In fact, gold's pressing closer to the 990 area. So the 1,000 mark kind of failed so far. There's been, I can go on and on and on. A lot of the predictability of the markets just haven't been there, and that's what I define by being choppy. They're just skittish. That's a better word, probably. Markets are skittish. What's neat about the ISE products and the currencies right now is that options allow you that, if you're wrong, wrong is wrong. You're going to lose money. It's just a matter of, can we do damage control? And I'm talking to you as a real trader. Can you do damage control? And that's the key element. Find the opportunity and then apply the strategy. What's the best strategy? And I tell you what, ISE has nailed the head down for equity traders taking advantage of these seasonal moves. Now, let me show you something else. This is a seasonality chart on the Japanese yen. Now, this is something I really don't share a whole lot, but I think it's important for today's session, mainly because we're entering a new quarter. And the Japanese yen, by all stretch of the imagination, had a tremendous move the other night against the U.S. dollar. What's interesting, and if you're not aware of that, we took in this seasonal chart. I know they might get a little bit upset with me. Please bear with me a second, because I've been trading foreign currencies on futures since 1984. That's over 25 years. foreign currencies on the futures exchange has been around since the early 70s. Spot foreign currency just became more legitimized 4 or 5 years ago, folks, and became real popular. And it's an asset class that I think is just an absolute beautiful product to have for all traders. With that said, the chart that you're looking at is a seasonal chart study of the life of the history of the Japanese yen versus the U.S. dollar. So I want you to understand that this is something that is counterintuitive of what you may see elsewhere with the spot currency, which is yen to the dollar. So with that said, notice what happens as we get into September, October. This time frame here is that the Japanese yen has a tendency to rally going into, against the U.S. dollar, into about mid-October. That's quite different than what we just saw with the British pound, right? Let me go back and take a look with you. So the euro currency, excuse me. The euro currency actually goes down and bottoms in October. The Japanese yen goes up and peaks in October. Well, the other day we had a high in the Japanese yen, if you're not following this. Back on August 10th, we were at 102.5. As of yesterday, we had a high of 113.41. It's quite a big move, folks. So what this would suggest is perhaps we see a little bit of profit taking over the next week, but the overall trend should continue going into the first 2 weeks of the month of October, and then we should see potentially the Japanese yen turn and start heading for a seasonal price decline. So this is kind of like an important chart study because this basically goes since 1972. Every year, this is the traditional seasonal price swing of the market. Some years it's bigger, some years it's less, some years the moves are magnified, some years the moves are muted, but overall, this is the average typical price swing of the yen versus the U.S. dollar. So what's really neat is remember that the ISE, you have two ways to trade the yen right now. They have two different products. And so I think for the most part, options trading techniques, you can, A, utilize these monthly pivots. If you don't trade at TD Ameritrade or Thinkorswim, guess what? That's fine. You can go and any chart package generally has pivot point calculations you can do. If your company that you trade with, they do not calculate monthly numbers, simply you can go to my website under Trading Tools at the top header, at the very top, just click on Trading Tools. You'll see a button that says Pivot Point Calculator. Click on that. It doesn't ask or require you to fill out your email address or put your name. It's just straight through, and you can calculate your own target numbers on the website using that pivot calculator. It's free, it's unobstructed, and it's right there. If you want to contact me, there's a contact button, contact us. So I just thought for an educational purpose, there's a way that you can go to a website, check out what these pivot numbers are, and maybe create your own style. And I've had people say, John, I want to create my own week, my own month, and kind of get an edge or do them on a quarterly basis. And they can experiment. And the neat thing about using these is that you can back test it.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. To find more podcasts on options, stocks, alternative markets, and market data, please visit www.ise.com/podcasts.